Hey everybody, welcome back to LegitStreetCars. My name is Alex, and in this video, I'm gonna do something that a lot of you guys told me to do in the Corvette restoration video after I corrected the paint on this car and ceramic coated practically every exterior surface. The Corvette looked brand new, but there was something that bothered literally hundreds of you guys. It's something that's big, it's something that's quite disgusting, and it's something that quite honestly requires its own separate video. So I'm gonna correct that today, and I'm gonna one-up myself and do something else you guys told me to do in that video because I'm a man of the people. All right, so as you guys probably figured out from the title of this video, we're gonna be cleaning the disgusting engine, which I'm gonna show you here in a second. But first, a little update on the paint correction ceramic coating video. It's been about 1,200 miles, over a month. I've driven this in the rain. It sits outside. It actually rained on it last night. And this is what she looks like, guys. This stuff really works. It really protects the entire surface of the car from dirt and grime. So take a look at the wheels, even look clean. The paint looks clean, and I've only washed this once about 2.5 weeks ago, and as you can tell, the paint just looks phenomenal. So nothing really sticks to the car, the glass, the wheels, the paint. It all stays super clean. If you guys want to pick up your own Armor Shield 9 ceramic coating, I'll leave a link and a coupon code down below for 25 bucks off, making the whole kit only $45, and this little bottle is enough to coat every exterior surface on a car, and it lasts about 3 to 5 years. Very hydrophobic. It keeps your car super clean for a very long time. But something that's not clean at all is something that literally hundreds of you guys pointed out, something that of course I knew, but it required a dedicated video, and that is this disgusting engine compartment. So if you guys saw the restoration video, which I'll link down below if you haven't, this car sat outside for about 8 years. It was in Indiana, I think like in a field or something. Needless to say, it is quite grimy, as you can see here from the intake manifold. And then if we just pop off these Corvette covers, you can see here we have a buildup of leaves. There's a bunch of dead bugs in here. It doesn't have any live oil leaks, but after 20 years of minor seepage and whatnot, we have a lot of grease and a lot of dirt that's attached itself. So remember what this looks like here, because we're also gonna clean up all the aluminum on the engine, and the K&N air filter right over here has mold growing on it. Something else that I think would make this car look amazing is if we could restore the plastic. There's a ton of plastic under the hood. So the top of the coolant tank right here, over on that side, the washer bottle, and the cowl. I did this in the last video with a basic trim restoration product, and it didn't last. It lasted maybe a week. So let me show you guys my arsenal of tools, and then we're just getting right into this job. So what we're gonna be using to clean the engine is something I've been using since I was a teenager, which is just this gunk engine degreaser. This is the heavy duty gel. Just got this on Amazon. Of course, everything will be linked down below. And I got a set of brushes off Amazon too. So check this out. This is really cool. I'm really excited to use this. So we stick these on a drill, and this is gonna get into all the little crevices, because if you guys see here, take a look at, for example, the ABS pump right there is disgusting. This is the frame rail right here. So we need to get in there somehow. That could take forever with a little toothbrush. So I bought these brushes. We're gonna put them on a drill, and we actually have extensions for them to make this job even easier. So I got a bunch of different lengths. We have our drill right here. If need be, I'm not afraid to start taking apart part of the engine. So we even have valve cover gaskets if I deem that necessary here in a little bit. After this is all cleaned up and minted out, we're gonna try out a product called Solution Finish to restore the black plastic trim. And many of you guys had said I should have just used the Armor Shield ceramic coating to restore the faded plastic. I didn't realize that a ceramic coating could do that. So we're gonna try out both, and without further ado, let's get to work. The first step whenever cleaning your engine is to disconnect the battery, and this is done for safety reasons, and I like to go ahead and remove the entire battery from the car so you can clean the battery tray down below. Next, disconnect any connectors going to sensors on the intake tube and remove it if this is covering an area you'd like to clean. I also like to remove the engine covers so you're actually cleaning the engine beneath them. Here I'm removing the K&N air filter to clean it and to show you how gross this thing is. I've never seen mold growing in a filter before, but this just goes to show you how dirty this engine is. I then mixed up some water and car wash solution sprayed most of the mold and dirt out from inside the filter, and then let the filter sit in the bucket and soak while we work. This next step is really important. Go steal the saran wrap from your kitchen. It's gonna be gross after this, so don't even bother returning it. This is now a shop tool, but you're gonna wanna start by covering the throttle body. I used some tape to secure this and the original throttle body clamp to make sure we don't get any water in the engine. Because my engine is so dirty, I'm gonna go a step further and remove the coil packs. This is a really easy job on the LS1 Corvette, although it kind of sucks on the LS1 F-body though. And if you're an LS guy, let me know in the comments section what you guys drive or race. Now, after removing this coil pack, I decided these valve covers are definitely coming off for some new gaskets. I think it's safe to say that these things have never been off the car, and all of the rear coil bolts were still in there. If you guys know your LS1s, you know most people, especially on the F-body, just leave those out. I mean, not me though, I always put them back in. I then wrapped any of the connectors I disconnected so they don't short out and blow the car up. Just kidding, that probably won't happen, but water in the connectors can cause corrosion, and we don't want that. Before spraying the degreaser, I reversed my shop vac and blew out all the leaves and dirt, and then reversed it back and sucked up anything that was remaining. All right guys, so I've removed everything that is very easy to remove, and that opens up a ton of room in here, so we can get to cleaning things like these, the valve covers. But I got the gaskets. I think after 20 years, these are about due to be replaced. So I am gonna pop this valve cover gasket off, but first I'm gonna clean everything with them on, and then I'll be able to clean this even better off the car. But I took the coils off. I just have the wires facing down. They can get a little wet. We're not gonna go too crazy with the water, but this is an excellent time to do plugs and wires. The only reason why I'm not doing them is because I'm saving them for another video. You guys will figure it out if you watch that video why. It'll make sense. But do your plugs and wires, especially in a car like this, if you can. And then I just wrapped up all of the connectors that I disconnected. So we have saran wrap and tape on all of these connectors, and also we're covering up the throttle body as well. We don't want any water getting in there. And I just want to show you why I'm not going too crazy covering all the other connectors. This is called a weather pack seal. So this connector has a very tight rubber seal. All of them do under the hood. So when it snaps in, this is waterproof, and you got to use a little bit of common sense. I'm not going at this with a pressure washer for them to be blasting right into the alternator or any important parts like that. Some sensitive areas we're just going to go a little bit lighter on, and we're just going to use common sense, and we're going to get in there with these guys here. I'm really excited about this. This is going to be pretty cool, and we are going to clean this thing up so nicely and so quickly using the drill with those brushes and a little bit of elbow grease. I have some manual brushes as well. So at this point, we have our heavy-duty gel. We have to let this soak for 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to simply spray it on pretty much everything. Like I said, I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not just going to go right up to the alternator and spray it on there. Get on the heavy caked up areas like the valve covers inside of here. And your engine can see a little bit of water. It can get wet. It was designed that way. So this isn't going to kill anything. And we're going to let this sit for about 15 minutes. Then after the 15 minutes of it soaking in there and breaking up all the grease, I'm going to spray it on there again because we have an extra dirty engine compartment. And then I'm going to go to town with the brushes and really get in there. And then we're rinsing it off with water. All right, so we have the parts that we removed sitting in the grass, looking pretty, unlike the grass itself, which looks horrible and it's dying. But what you guys just saw was about 30 seconds of me spraying water on the engine and the engine compartment, but with the garden hose set to a very light, fine mist. So I didn't use much water at all. I didn't concentrate the stream of water on any of the electrical connectors or the alternator. I focused most of the water on metal parts that aren't gonna ever get damaged by spraying a little bit of water on them. So we still do have some degreaser, which is no problem at all. This stuff wipes up and soaks into a microfiber so nicely. I already did the intake and look at how nice that looks. And guys, this is the part of the job that's actually a ton of fun. Don't get me wrong, we're gonna spend probably about an hour with the microfiber wiping all of this off. We're gonna use the pick and screwdriver wrapped at the end of the towel like this to get into little crevices in here. But this is a ton of fun. It's very, very satisfying at this point. And after we're done cleaning everything off as best as possible, I'll pop these valve covers off, replace the gaskets, kind of like for maintenance purposes, and then we'll be able to clean this up really nice off of the car. Then everything is going back on. We're gonna start the engine up, make sure that everything is dry, and then we're moving on to the plastic treating process and the ceramic coating. All right, moment of truth. Let's see how she starts up. I did have the fuel line disconnected, so I'll give it a little prime. Fires right up. All right, so the Corvette engine is running. It's not misfiring. Everything is perfect. There's no squeaking from the belt whatsoever. So as long as you control your water, guys, you are going to be fine. So what I did was I temporarily just connected the air intake because I have the K&N right there drying on the sidewalk. So what I want to do is warm this engine up to operating temperature just to dry everything completely before we give it a final wipe down with some rubbing alcohol, because I want to get out all of the detergent and any grease and oil that may be left over before we start to treat all of this plastic trim. And that is a very, very important step before applying any kind of ceramic coating. All right, guys, everything is wiped down clean with the rubbing alcohol. So now we are at the point of simply putting this on a microfiber, and I shook it up a little bit. And they only give you 1 ounce. This is supposedly good to do like 3 cars. So we're gonna use very, very little of this. And I think we're just gonna start with the worst part, the cowl. So we're just supposed to wipe this on. We're gonna let it sit for, I think 1 to 2 minutes is what it said. and then we can buff the excess off. So you can see it's already looking much, much better. Let's do a little bit more. And everybody in the comments section was saying this stuff works so well for black plastic trim. But something else that I found so interesting is that a lot of guys said the ceramic coating that I used on the entire car could have restored all of the trim as well. So I'm gonna do about half of this with the solution finish, and then we're just gonna go ahead and try the ceramic coating in a small section on that side, see what she does. All right, so I'm just gonna try a little bit of the Armor Shield 9 on a microfiber, and they do give you an applicator pad and some cloths, but I used them all up on the car. So let's see what happens here. Oh, wow. This does look pretty awesome. I'm telling you, so many guys were like commenting that, Alex, you just totally should have continued on with the ceramic coating on all of the plastic. And I didn't know that this stuff can restore and protect black plastic trim. So hang on, let's do a little comparison between this and the other stuff. And God, I might skip that step entirely because this is looking just as good. Hang on, I'm gonna do this whole section. Well, if you were one of the people that had mentioned you can restore faded black plastic with ceramic coating, then give yourself a big pat on the back because you were totally right. This stuff looks amazing, and it looks just as good as the solution finish product, which also works very well. As you can see here, this is our dividing line right around here. It's actually kind of hard to tell which side is which, but over there is the solution finish, and as we come closer to me, we have the part of the cowl that's been treated with the Armor Shield 9, and it looks absolutely fantastic. So if you guys already bought this to ceramic coat your car, you might as well just do your trim as well. It'll just take you a little bit more time, and this makes such a big difference on any car to restore the black faded trim. It honestly just sheds years off the look of the car, makes it look much, much newer. So anyway, I'm gonna get to work and then put all of our other engine parts together, including that air filter over there, and then I'll show you guys the final result. So it's the very next day because I wanted the ceramic coating to fully cure before showing you guys the amazing finished product, and I even popped off the rear license plate to ceramic coat the black piece of plastic behind it because I'm crazy. I even ceramic coated the red Corvette engine covers, but those are definitely off for the grand reveal because you guys got to check out the details. You got to look into every nook and cranny. I'm a giddy little schoolgirl right now because this is by far the nicest, the cleanest engine and engine compartment on a car that I've ever owned. So let's kick this off by just taking a quick look at the cowl. It looks amazing, and restoring the black faded plastic on any car's cowl just makes the car look so much newer. And I've ceramic coated practically everything else. And I must say, guys, I did use the black restoration product and the ceramic coating, but I really think you could just do the ceramic coating. There are areas of the car that I just ceramic coated, like the battery and like this fuse box, and they look just as good, and now they're protected for 3 to 5 years. And what's nice with this is it doesn't give it a really greasy, grimy look that's super shiny and that's gonna attract a ton of dirt either. So of course I coated all of the plastic in this area, and just take a look at the coolant reservoir. It looks brand new. We got the oil cap looking fresh. Of course, all of our coils look amazing, and if you guys have an LS engine, you know how grimy the yellow tops get. So these look really nice. You can see the part numbers on the coil. You can even see the part numbers on the fuel injectors now, and I even spent a little bit of time with a toothbrush cleaning up the very top of the injector where the purple seal is, so that looks really nice. We no longer have any bugs and leaves in the crevices of the intake. I cleaned up the top of the bolts, the bolt heads, with a wire brush as well. That was a little added detail that makes things look really, really nice. And then something else here, guys, is take a look at the aluminum. So it's nothing polished, it's nothing out of this world crazy. It just looks really clean and really factory. This is a totally stock car. It's got 140,000, like I said, and the aluminum looks really nice. That's not coated or anything. That's just a little bit of elbow grease and those awesome brushes on the drill. So take a look at the intake manifold itself, looking really nice. I mean, you could basically eat off this thing, and so does the K&N filter charger thing. And now we don't have any more mold in our K&N air filter. So that is all cleaned up. And then I added, of course, the K&N oil, but I don't go too crazy with this. Some people douse these things in oil, and if you're running a mass airflow sensor, that is not good. So I think I'm missing a sticker right here. The hood shock failed on me today. It worked all day yesterday, and now it's done, so I gotta get a new one of those. But this reservoir here for the washer fluid looks amazing. We cleaned up both of these reservoirs for the brake fluid and the clutch fluid. And again, right here you can see by the throttle body, the aluminum just looks clean. It doesn't look polished like someone sat there and tried to make it look chrome. I don't really, not a big fan of that. But we cleaned up the wiring harnesses, the fuel rail is nice, and everything is just pretty much spotless, and the ceramic coating just does wonders for black plastic trim. It just looks so good. And not that you're gonna be pouring water on your engine, but like I've shown you in other videos, the stuff is super hydrophobic, so check this out. The water just kind of goes away, so the dirt and water won't stick to the engine. So I'm really hoping that this stays clean for a very long time. And here is one final look at the Corvette. This thing has come a very long way from a couple of months ago when I bought it for $8,500. It had been sitting outside for 8 years. It looked beat down and horrible, and now we have the red engine covers on the LS1. This thing just looks absolutely perfect. And I even cleaned up all of the paint on the underside of the hood. You gotta do that if you're gonna be restoring the looks of your engine. Now I have about 6 hours into this entire project, which means that every single one of you guys watching at home can do this. I will link every single part, product, and tool that I used in the video description box. I'll even write out some instructions for you guys if you wanna follow along on paper. And just because I'm a huge dork, take a look at the ABS pump. That is looking sweet, and you can read the part numbers off of that as well. So basically, if you can read the part numbers off of 2-decade-year-old parts that are still on your car, you know you've done a pretty good job. That'll do it for today's video. I hope all of you guys out there enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed making it for you. So with that being said, hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already, share the video, subscribe if you're new, and most importantly, have an awesome day. I'll catch all of you in the next video.